The Virginia Department of Health offered resources for LGBTQ kids on its website. But mere hours after the Daily Wire simply asked Governor Glenn Youngkin's administration about the site, all of those resources were gone. Sorry, kids, your governor no likey being challenged. We've learned about this thanks to the Virginia Mercury and the Washington Post, who obtained internal emails from the Virginia Department of Health. Here's what the Daily Wire was so upset by. A reporter at the Daily Wire questioned two programs, an initiative called Queer Kid Stuff, an LGBTQ+ and social justice website for kids and families, and QChat Space, which offered live, professionally facilitated chats and online support groups for teens. Hours after that inquiry, those programs and all of the others listed on the resources for LGBTQ youth webpage were gone. In a twist that no one could have seen coming, sarcasm, the Daily Wire still published an article attacking the state for offering those resources. Headline: Virginia Department of Health promotes Queer Kid Stuff, chat for LGBTQ+ identifying teens. When asked for comment by the Washington Post, Youngkin spokesperson said, in Virginia, the governor will always reaffirm a parent's role in their child's life. Children belong to their parents, not the state. The governor supports providing resources that are age appropriate. However, the government should not facilitate anonymous conversations between adults and children without a parent's approval. Sexualizing children against a parent's wishes doesn't belong on a taxpayer-supported website. What a great, direct, clear quote, except who is sexualizing children? No one. They just made that up. Queer people are allowed to have an identity. Just because it don't match yours don't mean it's not okay, obviously. And this attack isn't limited to just the queer community. Youngkin's administration has at least 3 times in the year and a half since he took office removed information from the website without consulting its own subject matter experts. Records show stripping public health resources on abortions, sexual health, and pregnancy, among other issues. But the good news is, if you happen to have the exact life that Governor Youngkin has, with the exact priorities and desires and the exact personality traits, then all of the information you need for your life will be safe on the website. You can rest easy. That's where we're at in Virginia.
Yep. So this is what right-wing media does. They go around going, okay, let's figure out which state and municipality doesn't hate gay people enough. Let's look and look and look at this. Is anyone helping gay people? Anyone? Go, we found one. Okay, let's attack. Now, wait, this is something that is a resource for people who want to find out more. And by the way, a lot of them are teenagers. They can just go online. It's like so in the sense, I'm glad that Virginia was providing these resources for when people need help, etc. But it's not like if you shut it down, like they can't find other information. So that's also good news, but it's also bad news in that Republicans don't get it. You're not going to be able to shut down the internet. You're not going to be able to shut down human existence. They're like, don't tell the kids about how there's gay people. Oh, what if they turn gay? And then you say, well, it sounds like you hate gay people. And they're like, no, I don't. I want their votes, so I'm gonna pretend that I don't hate them, and I'm gonna promise them tax cuts. But the minute we're in office, like Youngkin in Virginia, if some bullies from the Daily Wire contact me and say, hey, you're being a quarter way decent to some of your citizens. Oh man, I'm gonna be on a warpath because we have to protect the children. What if they find out that there's gay people in the world? Well, number one, there is, so they would become educated. Number two, so what? Well, the reason why we're having this conversation is something that the right wing and honestly the mainstream media is never frank about. The reason we're having the conversation is because the right wing thinks that being gay is wrong. It's sinful. And they don't want their kids becoming gay. They don't know, no, it's genetic. They're born a certain way. It is what it is. But nope. They say, I don't want it. I don't want that happening for my kids. And you have to respect that. So I get it, and we give kids as a sensitive topic as to what the parents, what kind of autonomy they have, etc. But just admit that you're saying, I don't want my kids to learn about gay people or become, in their minds, become gay because I don't like gay people. I think their existence is wrong. Okay, well, at least I would be honest, because that's definitely what you're doing here. Because Daily Wire didn't say, hey, we have evidence of this platform or this website being used to sexualize children. We don't have any evidence that any child had anything wrong done to them. We have a world of evidence that the Catholic Church has abused thousands of kids, but we never talk about it. We don't care at all. We never talk about it because we don't want to demonize the Catholic Church. We want to demonize gay people. And here we have absolutely no evidence that anything has ever gone wrong, but we want to shut it down because we hate gay people. So Ben Shapiro, Glenn Youngkin, all Republicans, all right-wing media pundits, why don't you be decent for the first time in your life, at least be honest enough to say you don't like those people and just stop lying because you're the most obvious liars in the world. All right, Jackson.
Yeah, I continue to be amazed, I guess ironically, at how determined the Republican Party is to run away from just the idea and the thought of the democratic process. Because at the end of the day, Glenn Youngkin and everyone who made the decision to take this off of the website could have simply ignored the Daily Wire. They could have ignored them, or they could have pointed out what you said. Y'all have no evidence and no facts to back up what you're saying. You just whining and griping. Because at the end of the day, people are gay. It's not a novel thing. People have been gay for quite some time. As far back as we can look, it's not new. And given the fact that millennials and Gen Z and even Gen X, the younger the generation you go, the more people just kind of generally accept that the LGBTQ community is alive and well and it ain't going nowhere. And there's really nothing weird about it. It's just a part of being alive. So at the end of the day, like I said, they could have ignored this. And you even see this with like Ron DeSantis, who's like the epitome of how can we alienate people as hard as we can. I think Shank, you were in one commercial he just put out where they were trying to make it look like Donald Trump he supports the queer community too hard, so we can't have that. And then his wife, Casey DeSantis, put out another commercial that was like a minute and a half longer, because I guess she has a little bit more speaking and social skills, that doubled down and made it even worse. But Republicans more and more, they can't understand that you have to include people or else you're gonna have to become more authoritarian. But it appears that authoritarianism is just what they're gonna keep on doubling down on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say real quick, we talked about those DeSantis ads in the first hour of today's show. And in case you haven't seen it, they have a clip of me saying, congratulations, Ron DeSantis, you win. They did not include the next sentence. You win on being the most racist Republican in the race. Oh yeah, I wonder why they didn't include that part.
Yeah, and I think everything you guys said is right. And I also just wish still that we on the left could find a little bit more nuance on some of these issues where we aren't feeding into these right-wing talking points. Because I do think that, when I dive deeper into these resources that were being criticized by the Daily Wire, in my opinion, there were some things that were maybe a little inappropriate to be exposing to children as young as 3 and 4, which was the rating on some of these videos on YouTube, like what is transitioning. I don't think is something a 3 and 4 year old needs to be discussing or made aware of, or telling classrooms that they shouldn't use the words boys and girls anymore. I think that's extreme and that's too much. And a more nuanced response could have been to research those platforms themselves in the Virginia Department of Health, and perhaps altered the list of very important resources that they had for young people, instead of just being like, oh, we don't want to be looked like as though we're Bud Light, and just erasing all the resources entirely and leaving their young people hanging to be able to find whatever it is they find on the internet, as they, of course, Cenk, you pointed out, will be able to do, whether there's government approved resources or not. So it's just giving up on and abandoning a whole community of people that could use some direction from the government.
Okay, so Ben, that's interesting. Let me agree and disagree on parts. So number one, I'm a parent, so don't worry about 3 to 4 year olds going to find out videos from the Virginia website about transitioning or not transitioning. They have no interest in that. All they have interest in is YouTube, okay? And so they're not gonna go there anyway. And if they they're going to the Virginia website.
Those videos are on their YouTube page, just to be specific.
Okay.
So anybody could find something on YouTube.
But Ben, that's my point, which is that as a parent of kids who are 10 and 12, I saw them go through the process. I saw what they watch, right? Whether it's on a Virginia government website, which is hilarious, nobody would ever go there unless you're a teenager and you're wondering about your identity and you want to just talk to someone and talk things through, et cetera. But even if they were to go on YouTube and stumble upon the Virginia thing, they could also stumble upon 1,000 other things. And for the right wingers out there, guys, you have to do parenting. I'm sorry, but you do, and that's on you. So they're always like, oh my God, my kids, what if somebody else talks to them? And what if they find out about this? Yeah, they're gonna find out about the world, and then you give them the values that you want, and even if you have values that I don't agree with. So now, but the point I'll agree with Ben on is, look, if you're starting to talk to elementary school students about, hey, we're not calling people boys and girls anymore, you're needlessly going into losing ground, right? Don't do that, because then they're gonna use that to defeat you in elections. And that is not core, right? Core is, hey, Republicans saying, no, I don't want my kids exposed to the fact that gay people even exist, right? And because I think there's something inherently sinful about being gay. I loathe that. That is a core human rights issue, right? What we call boys and girls is not a core human rights issue. And so I know some people disagree with that, but that is also not very popular. If we start calling boys and girls different names, people are gonna get freaked out by that. And you say, well, they shouldn't. Okay, I hear you, but then you're gonna lose an election. They're gonna have more people like Youngkin get in. That doesn't mean you compromise on core rights. It means you're smart and strategic about how you play this politics. I mean, look, the Daily Wire guys and the right wing is running circles around people. As much as I loathe them, they're winning these races, and they're got this toxic ideology all over the media, right? And they're like, hate, and they're winning on that because whenever they go find anything that the American people, because the American people want gay marriage to be legal, they want gay rights, they want trans rights, the polling clearly indicates it. So that's why the Ben Shapiro's of the world and the Matt Walshes and all those toxic people over there, they dig in until they find a nugget, and they're like, oh, some people in that community want to call boys something else and girls something else, and we think that'll freak the average American out. And then that's when, unfortunately, to Ben's point, some of our activists jump in and go, yes, let's go and lose on that losing ground. They found a losing ground for us to fight on. Let's go right there. No, don't go on the losing ground. We have tons of winning ground. Go on the winning ground, get in power, and then do the right thing and give everybody equal rights. And so, look, bottom line on all of this is that those sites in no way, shape, or form sexualize children. And the whole point of using children in this case is not because they're worried about the children, it's because they want to use your kids as both shields and weapons to drive hatred towards that community.
You know, pretty much, I think one of the important things that you pointed out is really picking what ground that you want to win on. And at the end of the day, focusing on things like wages, our healthcare system, education, stuff that really impacts everybody is how we're really going to move the ball forward, not just in federal elections, but especially state and community and local elections. But yeah, you know, I think my final thought is that when it comes to stuff like this, you show more strength by not backing down. If you didn't take that off of your website, you would have looked stronger, even if people don't agree with you. And you know, Target fell victim to this as well. Sometimes you just gotta ignore it. If people are like, we don't like that you're supporting gay people, well, that's nice. You're probably still gonna be in my line at Starbucks, so get over it. And Glenn Youngkin could have done the exact same thing. But the Republican Party is, you know, completely dominated by, in a lot of ways, online.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.